Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future in the water and wastewater industry, the careers you didn't know about. And I'm your host, Dave Kosminski, and we are live on location at the Connecticut section at CAVE, the annual vendor conference, technical conference and vendor expo. And with us in the house is a frequent flyer. He's been on before. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome back to the program Professor Wesley Winterbottom. Hi, Wes.
Hi, Dave. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I understand you're going to be presenting today.
Yes, I am.
All righty. Fantastic. Just so our listeners remember that you're the curator of the water management program at Gateway Community College, which is now...
CT State Gateway. So I take care of the water management certificate program as well as a certificate and associate's degree program in public utility management.
And is that a four course program that you're teaching down there?
Well, the water management program is 4 or 5 classes. The students want to get certified both in water treatment and distribution. We recommend that they take all 5 of the classes. So there's Introduction to Utility Management, Environmental and Energy Law and Regulations, Water Treatment and Distribution, and then the either or is Special Topics in Treatment or Special Topics in Distribution. But if we recommend that if a student wants to be certified both in treatment and distribution, that they take both of those classes before they take the WPI examinations, which are administered by the Connecticut Department of Public Health.
Mr. Bill Sullivan and company.
Yes, he's speaking right before I am.
There we go. So, just so everybody knows, well, you and I have been partners in crime for quite a few years now, doing the water boot camps in the Metropolitan District and so forth, and I had a privilege of working with you for many, many years, and I appreciate all you've done for the industry, and I appreciate your friendship.
Well, me too, Dave. I feel the same.
So your presentation today, I understand that what is that going to topic?
So what we're going to be talking about today, I'm doing it jointly with Dr. Carol Stewart, who's from the School of Business at Southern Connecticut State University. We're going to be talking about what the state colleges and universities in Connecticut are doing for workforce development in the state of Connecticut to meet the workforce needs. So we essentially have 5 different programs that are up and running, some of them much longer term than others. There's the Water Management Certificate Program, which we've had for going on 4 decades, I think, which has provided hundreds of operators for Connecticut's water treatment and distribution systems. So I'll be talking about that. Most people are pretty familiar with that, but not everybody. We also have started running non-credit classes for wastewater certification. The Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection.
Oh, okay.
Their certification program is based upon continuing education units.
Okay.
So we started recently running CEU-based courses through our business and industry group.
Okay.
Using a very experienced superintendent of one of the wastewater plants in Connecticut. And we use the California State University at Sacramento educational materials. So we run the classes. We do the classes live, remote, online. I should say the same thing about the water management classes. So we use WebEx, which is like Zoom, so we have scheduled dates and times to meet. And so at the completion of a course, the students will take the California State University at Sacramento examination.
Yep.
And if they pass that, they are awarded CEUs from Cal State, which the Connecticut DEP recognizes.
Oh, nice.
So it's a nice option, and there are some people that can do those California State University courses on their own, and then there's some people who like to have a little hand holding.
Right.
And that's where we come in.
Sure, absolutely.
So that's the second program we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about the associate's degree in public utility management, which was created in response to input from the water and energy utilities in Connecticut. They were looking at their managerial workforce, and they realized that they have a lot of vacancies that are going to be opened up due to retirements, and there's a lot of people in the pipeline. the joke always is that nobody goes to college planning on working for a utility, and then once they start working for the utility, they realize it's a great career field.
Sure.
So we have an associate's degree. There are 5 program-specific courses, which is public utility management, energy and environmental law and regulations. There's customer relations, asset and infrastructure management, and rates and revenues. But they also take courses in things like statistics and economics and human resources and business ethics. So they take a lot of general business courses as well. And the objective is to get people to enter the managerial fields, and that transfers seamlessly to Southern's program, which I'll talk about in a second. And in addition to the associate's degree in utility management, we also just a little over a year ago created a certificate in utility management, which is targeting people who already have a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And they take 6 courses. It's the 5 program-specific courses I just mentioned, and English composition. But basically, if you already have a degree, you already have English composition. So
right.
it's five. It's five classes, and it provides a credential for somebody who already works for a utility to move up, or somebody who doesn't work for a utility that has a degree and would like to work for a utility.
Sure.
It provides, hopefully a credential that can open the door for them. And what Carol's going to be talking about is something that's brand new from Southern. They had a utility management program, and they've revised it based upon input from industry. And now it's called Energy and Utility Leadership.
Ah, okay.
And that's a bachelor's degree in utility management, and they've come up with some really neat new classes in it, more on the management side. We kind of hit the technical side of things at Gateway, but there is seamless transfer from the water management certificate to the associate's degree in utility management to the bachelor's degree in energy and utility leadership at Southern. So somebody can, it's a nice opportunity if somebody is hired by one of the utilities, and most utilities have tuition reimbursement. They can get a certificate, get an associate's degree, and get a bachelor's degree. And hopefully not have to pay a lot of money because they have tuition reimbursement.
Well, that's great. Well, as you know, the whole premise of me starting this podcast is to make students aware of the potential careers within the industry. Not only on the technical side, but on the managerial side and so forth. And as well as I do that the attrition rate and the retirement rate, we're all getting older, so we got to start refilling that pipeline.
Yeah, it's interesting because I probably get 2 or 3 job announcements a week, which we turn around and send out to our students. I also get phone calls. Do you have anybody? Do you have anybody that we can talk to? So
right.
It's so in the water and energy field, there's it's a great opportunity for people because when they advertise for positions, they don't get 100 applications. If they get 3 or 4, that's kind of the way it is these days.
Yeah, no, really. On my waterandpeople.org website, I always post the positions that I get, if either from the health department or Romana sends out, as far as on the Connecticut section and so forth. So if you want to check out, the technical positions or, operator positions on the waterandpeople.org, under careers. So you can do that. So how long you been doing this, Wes?
I think I've been at Gateway over 25 years. It's been a nice run. It's very rewarding. I was just telling somebody downstairs here at Cave that I feel fortunate that I get to teach the classes that I do because students are great. They know why they're there. They're there to learn something. You ask them to do something, they do it. They submit things on time. Sometimes I wonder how lucky I am why I'm so lucky to get to teach these classes because
Nice.
it's
rewarding.
It's very, very rewarding. And I just caught one of my former students on the way up here. I was a couple of minutes late coming up, and he just thanked me profusely. He had already had a degree, and then he went back and did the water management program, and he's got a great job at Aquarion, and he just thanked me profusely for.
Nice.
But it's nice to have the opportunity to help people that way.
in doing these podcasts and so forth, I mean, 95% of the people that I've interviewed and, they got into the industry by happenstance. It's like, my father knew somebody, or my father worked there, or I knew an uncle, or my father's, whatever. And it's not something that, kids getting out of high school or in college say, I'm going to go to work for a water utility, or I'm going to go to work for the wastewater industry. They kind of fall into it. And do you find the same thing as far as the students that are coming to your courses?
Yes, when I teach a class, I have people who already have a bachelor's degree, some from some pretty fancy private colleges. I have people who are truck drivers. I have people who are,
yeah,
they're electricians, they're plumbers, they're stuff like that. And, somebody buttonholes them one day and said, oh, by the way, do you know about these careers working for utilities?
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, no. Can you tell me more about it? And if they listen carefully, they realize that there's some really great opportunities up there. What I always say is that when the economy's doing well, people drink water, they flush the toilet, they turn the lights on and off. The economy's not doing well, they drink water, they flush the toilet, and they turn the lights on and off, and they expect their AI to work as well.
Exactly.
So it's like so they're good jobs, they're secure jobs, they're well-paid jobs.
Yeah.
And it's a very nice opportunity for people, and it's a matter of getting the information out there. We actually have new program sheets for the associate's degree and certificate in utility management,
nice.
And also ones for the water management program that are debuting today. I just picked them up from the printers last Thursday.
Nice. I'll have to get a couple from you. Go from there. So, hey, you mentioned AI. Do you find the AI is now rearing its head in academia now?
Yeah, and there's a lot of discussion about what's best to do, and I've heard a lot of different people say things. Does Connecticut State have an official policy concerning AI yet? No, it hasn't morphed to that point. I've talked to professors who say, well, I think it's okay if you use it, but you have to tell me what you learned from the AI. And
okay.
We're trying to figure it out, because it's not one of these things that you can just say, no, you can't use it, because it's not impossible. It's not possible to really enforce something like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I teach my classes now using WebEx, I get an AI summary of the class for every class that I teach.
See?
So it's
it has this function.
Yeah, I've talking to somebody from my church at something on Sunday, and with his company that he works for, they use WebEx when they have meetings.
Yeah.
So they get an AI summary for every meeting that they have. So it's something that's here.
Yeah,
and if you start thinking about it, if we are going to use all this AI, it's very electrical energy intense usage.
Sure.
So that translates into, we need more electrical generation facilities in the great state of Connecticut and New England.
Oh, yeah.
How's that going to take place?
Well,
and that translates into there's employment opportunities because of that.
Well, and the same thing with hybrid vehicles. I mean,
Yeah.
That is putting a tremendous strain, because everybody's kind of pushing towards the hybrid vehicles, and the state of Connecticut, and I don't think it's not only the state of Connecticut, but all across the country, they don't have the electrical infrastructure to support it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we've got, I think, half the power that we have comes from Millstone. The next 40% about, I believe, comes from natural gas, and we have a little bit of hydro, we have a little bit of solar, we have 2 wind turbines in Colebrook, but
yeah,
we're not exactly on the forefront of renewable energy, so it's going to be interesting to see where the state of Connecticut goes next to get additional sources of energy.
For sure. Now, you had mentioned WebEx. Basically, you've been using that. That's kind of been the that was around before Zoom was around.
Yeah. I was actually the first person at Gateway to do a class using WebEx, so I guess I've kind of stuck with it. I like it, but we also use Teams for broadcasting the classes. And, the thing is, I always say that, because Gateway is in New Haven, that it's nice if somebody who works for Winstead can come to class without driving the hour and a half from Winstead down to New Haven. So it seems to It seems to work pretty well. And the nice thing is the classes can be recorded. So if somebody wants to hear again what we discussed in the class, they can listen to it again.
There are advantages.
And it works out pretty well. And it's easy to record. It's easy to post everything.
Sure. Now, do you do? I know you used to do some of your classes in the North Haven campus. Do you still do any of that, or?
No. The North Haven campus, that's solely the automotive program that we have. And there's a local special high school that takes most of the building. The automotive program is just one of the wings. The grand scheme with that was to get a location in downtown New Haven, but that hasn't come to pass yet. So
I see.
So the automotive program is there, but everything else that we have is on 20 Church Street, and we have a beautiful campus in downtown New Haven, just south of the New Haven Green, and easy in, easy out. There's plenty of parking. It's a very, very secure facility, maintained impeccably. So it's worked out pretty well. And we've been there, I believe this is the 13th year that we've been in downtown New Haven.
And prior to that, you were on Sargent Drive next to Regional Water Authority.
Yeah, we were on Sargent Drive, the other half of the Regional Water Authority building, and we also were at North Haven. And I spent most of my time at the North Haven campus, which was an old junior high school that got converted to the North Haven campus of what at the time was Gateway Community College.
Yeah. Most of my classes when I was going through, I took it down to Regional Water building down at Sargent Drive.
Yeah, so it's Gateway's doing well. Our enrollments are actually up, which is unusual for colleges these days. And we're all part of CT State. We're the CT State Gateway campus. And there's a lot of synergy now that we're interacting much more with our colleagues at the other 11 campuses.
Because you had what, Tunxus, you had Manchester, you had...
Yeah, there's 11 of them. There's Tunxus, I'm not sure I'm going to remember them all. There's Tunxus, there's Manchester, there's Capital, there's Quinebaug Valley, Naugatuck Valley, Norwalk, Housatonic, Gateway, Northwestern, up in Asnuntuck. I don't know if that's 12 or not, but
you got most of them.
I think that's most of them, yeah.
My gosh, yeah.
Yeah, Connecticut's kind of funny because I went to interview a Dean Leonard candidate in Texas, in McAllen, Texas, a few years ago with one of my colleagues when we were doing a search. And they had a branch campus for this community college, and their branch campus was 100 miles away.
Oh, wow.
So in Texas, when you have a branch campus, it's 100 miles away. In Connecticut, Capital is a dozen miles from Tunxus,
well,
maybe even less than a dozen miles from Manchester. So it's nice that what it means is that good high quality education is easily accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah, well, in Connecticut, if you're in the center of the state, if you go 100 miles, you're in another state.
Yeah.
So it's Texas is the Lone Star State. There's a lot of area down there for sure. So anyway, that's great, Wes. I think so. Your presentation today is at what, 1:30 or so?
I think it's a little later than that. I think Carol and I are the last presentations for our session, so I'll have to say something at the beginning of my presentation to wake everybody up.
Okay, there we go. There you go. Fantastic.
But it's nice that we're given the opportunity to spread the word, because Connecticut State Colleges and Universities, our number one goal is to provide the training so that the employees needed by Connecticut employers are available. And, my specialization is the energy and water utilities. And we work, closely with the industry associations. We work closely with the individual utilities. And at Southern does the same. And we work very closely with Southern to do the best that we can to meet the workforce needs.
Well, the workforce needs they are needy, and the way the retirement and attrition rate is, we got to start refilling that pipeline, straight across the board for sure.
Yeah, there's some very, very nice opportunities. It's nice to be able to teach subject matters where you can look somebody in the eye and say, if you do this, pretty likely you're going to get a very good job.
Yeah.
Very good, secure job with a good career ahead of you.
And it's lucrative. job. It's a secure job, and it's not something you can outsource. You need the boots on the ground. I keep saying that every podcast. It's not something that we can outsource across the pond, because we got to have people here with boots on the ground to fix the leaks, to fix the whatever to get it all done. So anyway, Wes, thank you so much.
All right, very welcome, Dave. Thanks for asking me.
Oh, beautiful. And we're going to get your counterpart up here too, as far as that goes.
Yes, if you could get Carol Stewart up here today, that'd be great.
Awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of The Future of the Water and Wastewater Industry. And with us in the house is Professor Wes Winterbottom, who is the curator of the water management course at Gateway Community College. And Wes and I are partners in crime from way back. So, Wes, thank you so much. And that is all.